Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel My Engineering. Today I am coming with uh, our new topics, which is verification of manual versus ETAP shear force results in beam due to different types of cell element. That is, if we model a slab for a structure in ETAPs, then most of the engineers and structural engineers get confused whether we have to choose cell element, membrane element, or thick cell or thin cell, right? In order to remove this confusion, I am just preparing this tutorial for now. Okay, in this tutorial, our intention is just to design the beam or column elements uh, as per the conventional approach. That is, we do not consider the T beam approach or L beam approach of the slab. So how it can be obtained, I'll discuss on this tutorial, right? I have choose a cell element. For the manual calculation, I have choose a slab of 8 meter length and breadth of 5 meter. It means the L by B ratio is less than 2. Now, if the L by B ratio is less than 2, it acts as a two-way slab. It means two-way distribution. This trapezoidal portion has the area of 13.75 meter square, and this triangular portion has the area of 6.25 meter square. Then shear force due to live load. If we apply a live load of 10 kilonewton in the slab, then how much shear force will be generated on the beam? The live load intensity is 10 kilonewton per meter square. Shear force at the beam is obtained by 13.75, that is area of the trapezoidal, and 10 intensity of live load divided by 2, that gives the shear force at the each corner due to live load intensity in long span, that is 8 meter span of the beam. Now for short span, how we get shear force? Shear force at the beam in equals 10 times 6.25. 10 is the intensity of the live load, then 6.25 is the area of the triangle, divided by 2, that gives 2 value of shear force at each end of the beam. I have followed our area approach in calculation of the shear force, but you can also calculate the shear force by the triangle approach of this triangle and get the same value of 31.25 kilonewton. Now shear force due to self weight. We already calculated shear force due to application of 10 kilonewton per meter square live load in the slab. Now what will be the shear force if the cell dead load is assumed? Then we have a thickness of slab 200 mm, length 8000 mm, and width 500 mm. The intensity of load due to dead weight of the slab will be 25 into thickness of the slab, that is 0.25, that gives the 5 kilonewton per meter, right? Now the maximum trapezoidal load intensity, that is the value of load intensity of this trapezoidal channel, will be 2.5 into 5. 5 is the intensity of the dead load, 2.5 is the this height, 2.5. okay, this gives the 12.5 kilonewton per meter. In long beam, then maximum shear force due to dead weight of the slab will be 5 into 13.75 divided by 2, that is 34.375. 5 is the intensity of dead load of the slab, then 13.75 is the area of this trapezoidal area, by 2 equals to 34.375. In calculation of the dead weight, then we have to calculate the self weight of the beam as well, because in ETABS it gives the combined result of dead weight of the slab and dead weight of the beam. So we have to assume the cross section of the beam, that is 0.4 meter into 0.4 meter. Then shear due to dead weight of the beam, just beam itself gives the shear value, that is 25. That is unit weight of the concrete. 0.5 into 0.5 into 8 by 2. 8 is the span. We are calculating it in the long direction, right? So it gives the 16 kilonewton due to self weight of the beam. The total shear force on the longitudinal direction will be 34.375 plus 16, that equals to 50.375. That is 50.375 due to combined effect of dead load of the slab and dead load of the beam. The shear force due to self weight in short beam, then the maximum shear force due to dead weight of the slab will be 5, that is intensity of the dead weight of the slab into 6.25 divided by 2. 6.25 is the area of this triangle, that gives 15.625 kilonewton. Now cross section of the beam would be the same in short direction as well, that is 0.4 into 0.4. Shear force due to dead weight of the beam will be 25, which is unit weight of the concrete. 0.4 into 0.4 into 5. 5 is the span in short direction, divided by 2, that gives the shear value in 2 end due to the self weight of the beam, that will be 10 kilonewton. The total self weight of beam and slab results the shear force in each corner of the beam, that is 25.625 kilonewton. Now this is the table which I have prepared, in which I have included the position of the beam, that is it long beam or short beam, and dead load type or live load type, what we have applied in the beam. And then we have already done the manual calculation for the shear force calculation of the beam in long and short direction. Now we will model applying the membrane, thin shell or thick shell element in ETABS, then see how much value it gives, whether it matches with the manual calculation or not. But you have to note that this design approach is for the conventional design approach, where T action and L action of the beam is not accounted, right? Okay, then just go to the ETABS. Now open your ETABS, open, then wait for a moment because it takes some time to open. Okay, then go to File, New Model, use built-in setting with SI. All the setting should have been Indian because we are considering the Indian codes, IS 456, then OK. Now go to the custom grid spacing, edit grid data, choose the ordinate value then as per your requirements. This is 5, 7, 12, add 14, 19, now in Y grid data, then 8, that should be 10, that should be 18. Okay, then okay. Now go to the custom grid story data, edit story data. We need only one story, so delete other story data, right? Delete story, delete existing structure at story. Now we have a story item 3 meter only. Then OK. Again OK. Just I want to delete this model explorer option and another window, okay, so that we can see the pictures clearly. Now we have to define material. Go to define material properties, then add new material, choose India. For region, material type concrete, standard Indian, grade of concrete 30. Then OK. Again add another material, that should be material type rebar, the grade of steel would be 500. OK. Then OK. Now we define materials. Next step is to define section properties. Go to define section properties, then frame section, delete multiple properties, just delete all these options. OK. Now go to add new properties, then rectangular concrete, beam, property name beam 400 into 400, which was already assumed in our manual calculation. Then the material type 30 M30, this should be 400 depth and 400 width. Go to modify show bar. Since we are defining the beam, so M3 design only beam option, put here 40, effective cover again 40 in top and bottom bars, then choose HSYD 500, HSYD 500 again, then go OK. OK. Again go to add new properties, then rectangular concrete and choose this rectangular option. Now we have to define the column value and column into 400 into 400. The size of the column would be 400 by 400, right? Material M30, the depth would be 400 and width would be 400 as well. Now go to modify story bar, then PM to M3, that's OK. Choose longitudinal bar 500, again confinement bar 500, then press OK. 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 Now we have to define cell element, that is go to define section property, then slab section, delete this slab one, delete properties, OK. Add new property, first should be membrane, MEM membrane, it should be M30, this should be membrane as well, modeling type, slab 200 mm thickness, that's OK. Add new property, then thin cell, that is M30, and this should be thin cell modeling type, the thickness is same. OK. Just press OK. Again add thick cell now, THICK SHLL, thick cell, choose M30, it should be cell thick then, and slab and thickness will be 200. OK. Now we completed the definition of section 9 materials. Now we have to assign these section 9 materials in the grid. First go to quick draw columns option. Property will be column 400 by 400, what we defined. Okay, now go to quick draw beam, frame. Property would be beam 400 by 400. Again, select all the grid. Okay, now we have to assign the slab element, that is cell element. Okay, thus go to quick draw cell and choose property membrane. I will assign the membrane element here and here. Okay, two membrane element is assigned. And for thin cell, choose thin cell. This one will be thin cell. And then thick cell again. Thick cell, that would be thick cell. Okay, now we have assigned sections. Go to 3D model, how we see it. That's right. Again, stay in the plan. Apply. Okay, I have to apply the live load of 10 kilonewton in the cell element, right? So select all the cell element, then assign cell load uniform live. The intensity would be 10 because we have assumed the 10 kilonewton per meter square in manual calculation as well. Apply. Okay, another thing is, again select the cell. PS, get previous selection. We can select all the cell. Assign cell floor auto mesh option, because meshing has to be done for the cell so that the distribution of the load will be finer. Choose default option. Then what is default? Go advanced, modify option. Now as per default option, the approximate maximum size will be 1.25 meter, but I want to reduce it to 0.5 meter. Okay, okay, default is okay. Then apply, then okay. Now you will see the slab area is meshed. To see the grid line, just go to set display option and then slab analysis mesh. Okay, apply, then okay. You see the grid lines are shown in the ETABS, but the membrane element is not meshed because it is the property of the membrane, right? And then run the model, run analysis. First we have to save it. Okay, I just want to save on this previous file. Save as. Just go to 3D view. It is the deformed shape. Now we have to see the stress of the frame element, right? So display frame option and choose live. We want to see the or compare the shear force of the beam due to live load and dead load. So it will be shear to 2 option. Then show the values of controlling station. Click here and apply. Okay, now you see the force result or each element, right? These two are membrane element, these two are thin shell element, and rest of these two are thick shell element. Then what will be the force or shear force in the beam element due to the application of the live load? We are going to check, right? First, this is the long direction of the slab. So click here, right? Click here. You could see 71.41 kilonewton. That is shear force. Here you could see 32 due to the live load. Here you could see 63. Wait for a moment. Okay, just want to validate with our manual result. That should have been 68.75. Okay, unlock the model. Okay, go to plan, then stay in plan. Okay, now this 6 cell element have to act independently, but we have draw the beams around this open space, right? So we have to delete this beam, this beam, this beam. Now go to 3D. We see all the models are acting independently. Run the analysis again. Then go to display frame option, shear to 2, that's okay, apply. Okay, now this is the thin shell element. What would be the shear force? 68.55. okay, in our manual calculation that is 68.75 is differ, right? So again unlock the model. Okay, and then select object type, column and beam, select, close, then assign frame in length offset, because we are going to change the inlet offset. Previously it was automatic from connectivity. It means the value of the shear force will be at the face of the column, right? But now we define the length, that is 0 0. It means it acts at the center of the column, because our manual calculation is also from the center of the column, so that these two values will be comparable. Now apply. Okay, again run the analysis. Again go to display frame result, then shear, apply. Okay, then now we see 68.75. This is 68.75. Our manual calculation and the result given by membrane is the same in long direction, right? Long direction live load. Done. What will be in the short direction then? We'll see 31.25. It will be 31.25 for membrane and manual. Both are exactly same. Now we see for this is the thin element, right? For short direction 33.117, just 33.117, and this is greater than this 31 value, manual calculation value. Again, if you see it, thin cell element, this is in long direction, this will be 58.12. You see 58.12 in the long direction. This is for thin element. Done. Okay. Again, go to thick element, right? 38.54. Just see 38.54, which is much higher than the manual calculation or membrane element. For long direction then, you see minus 47, that will be 47, right? Again, I want to see for the dead load. Go to member force diagram, choose dead here, apply. For membrane type of cell, you will see that is 50.36. Right? Our manual calculation will be 50.375. That matched exactly. Done. For short direction, it will be minus 25.6. .06. It is 25. It matches more or 25.6. Then for thin cell, long duration, it is 42.62. For short direction, 24.79. 24.42, that is 79. Okay. Now you can also compare with the thick cell as well. For thick cell, minus 29.77, minus 29.77, 29.77. Okay, for thick cell long beam, it would be 35.67. You can see from the result that manual and membrane elements matches, but for thick cell and thin cell differs the manual calculation value. So what it means is, this thin cell and thick cell element has the property to resist bending and shear, etc. So it assumes or it acts in this principle. But for membrane structure, it does not take any bending and shear stresses, so it matches with the manual calculation. What we can decide is membrane just matches the manual calculation for the conventional design approach of the structure. Then what is modified thin cell and modified thick cell then? Suppose you don't want to model with membrane element, but want to model with thick cell or thin cell element. So in order to match with the calculation value, or in order to get the actual value or expected value, you have to change the stiffness modifier of the cell element, thick cell element and thin cell element. Then we get these values. Then how can we get? I'll show you. Just unlock the model. Okay. Then this cell element is the thin cell element. Now select it. Then assign cell. Go to stiffness modifier. Just change the stiffness modifier due to bending and shear, because we have to give the input to the cell that it does not take any type of bending and shear. So 0.0001. We cannot put it 0 because it does not take 0 values. Copy, Control B, Control B, Control B, Control B. But we don't want to change the mass or weight, because we expect that all the mass of the cell element will come to the slab. Just we want to remove the bending and shear action. Apply. OK. Again do for thick cell element. These two are thick cell. Now I want to change the stiffness modifier of this thick cell element. Go to assign cell, stiffness modifier, then apply 0.0001. Control C, Control B, again Control B, Control B, Control B, apply. OK. Now run the model then. Okay, wait for a moment so that result will come. Go to display frame option, then go to live, all are OK, apply, OK. Now I want to see the shear force value in this long direction of thin cell element, 68.98. That should be 68.98. 98. This is comparable to this manual calculation, right? Again in short direction we see this will be 31.68. 31.68. This is also comparable with the manual calculation. We go to for thick cell long direction, 66.79. 66.79. Again go to for short direction, 32.78. Okay. Now this modified value is comparable with manual calculation. So if you don't want to model with membrane element, then you can use thin cell and thick cell element for the conventional design approach. But you have to modify the parameters for the thick cell. That's the conclusion of our tutorial. So membrane type of element is the best option to match with the manual calculation for the conventional design of any type of structure. Thank you very much. That's it for now. Okay.